the beginning of the First World War, football became the highest thought thinkable, for it trumped politics and it tamed belligerent powers. It drowned out the guns and kicked war into touch. The Germans in their trenches on the Western Front had been sent wartime care packages from home. They contained tiny fir trees to decorate with candles. Curious Brits peered over the trenches to watch. Then they listened as the Germans sang Heilige Nacht, whereupon Brits joined in with Silent Night. The Germans cried, "You no fight! We no fight, Tommy!" Then they all emerged, defying snipers' shots. They walked towards each other onto no man's land, shaking hands and trying on each other's helmets. They swapped smokes and shared rum and schnapps. Everyone was ignoring their country's propaganda. Their excitable laughter would lighten the steel rain from Lee Enfields and Maxim guns and Mausers. In this Christmas lull, someone produced a leather ball, clambering out with it on Christmas Eve, 1914. The Scotsman dribbled the ball up and down the line, while others, looking about, made two goalmouths. One was formed from mounds of German forage caps, and the other from two piles of British greatcoats. Groups of bedraggled men played across frozen mud, amid shell craters and barbed wire. Lieutenant Johannes Neumann of the 133rd Saxons recalled the lone Scotsman with his ball. Tommy came out of the trench with one at his feet, kicking already and making fun. We soon discovered the Scots wore no underpants under their kilts, so that their behinds became visible any time their skirts moved in the wind. We had a lot of fun with that, Neumann would add. And in the beginning we just couldn't believe it. He'd laugh as he remembered them larking about in the snow. The 133rd Saxon Regiment would beat the British 3-2, and the match took place at Pont Rouge. Then along the line there'd be more fraternization, the ball's juicy thwacks upstaging gunshots. Though when the Lancashire Fusiliers took on the Germans, they only had a bully beef tin. Yet the score was diligently recorded. It was also 3-2, with Fritz promising Tommy a return match. And Corporal William Hunt from Huckleton Colliery, serving with the Sherwood Foresters, said, "Not the slightest notice is taken of shell bursts when a football match is on the go." Kurt Zamisch of the 134th Saxon Regiment wrote in his diary of a lively game, and of how marvellously wonderful, yet how strange it was. The English officers felt the same way. Thus Christmas, Kurt wrote, the celebration of love, brought mortal enemies together as our friends for a time. I told them that we didn't want to shoot on the second day of Christmas either, and they agreed. Kurt described a Thomas Laurie Frost of the 1st Cheshires bravely visiting the German trenches, holding plum puddings to swap for sausages. Each side called out, "Merry Christmas." They then met up for a rare old jollification, as Frost put it, then a game. However, someone would photograph them all playing, and the photograph found its way to the War Office, resulting in Whitehall's forbidding such fraternization. Football with the enemy was an unthinkable treason. For a crude hatred was wilfully engendered by each side. The Kaiser commissioned anti-English hymns of hate. Troops learned Hath Gesang gegen England, and schools adopted them as secondary national anthems. Equally in England, in the Daily Graphic you could read, "Down with the Germans, down with them all. O army and navy, be sure of their fall. Spare not one, the deceitful spies. Cut out their tongues, pull out their eyes. Down, down with them all." And troops would learn it, off by heart, to boost their morale, while their country was told that war was a sacred cause. And yet, on Christmas 1914, "There was not an atom of hatred that day," said Bruce, Bairnsfather, of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. There was even mistletoe brought to the pitch from a Belgian wood, with bubbling cries of "Kiss, kiss, cuss, cuss." Conan Doyle called the Christmas truce an amazing spectacle, saluting its pacifist horseplay one human episode amid all the atrocities which have stained the memory of the war. Sherlock Holmes's creator detected a novel phenomenon. Although at Lewes, a British lieutenant colonel warned his men that he'd mow them down with a machine gun to end what he called outbreaks of intolerable sociability, it led Private Dawkins of the East Kents to comment, "Had just one of these big mouths gathered together 10,000 footballs, what a happy solution that would have been, without bloodshed," as Dawkins was wistfully to write home. Furthermore, if the rest of the First War had been replaced by a series of football matches, a few matches staged by some desk-bound big mouths, World War II need never have happened.